Welcome to Haunt Topic Radio, the podcast for haunters by haunters. These are our scary visions.
Only 2 months left. Are you ready? August is here, September is right around the corner, and then it's October. I could use some of that cooler weather right here in Missouri, though. Man, are you a haunt owner or run a haunted attraction? Are you looking for ways to increase your revenue? Add more things to your attraction that people can pay for? Well, stick around to this episode because we talk about all things upgrades, upsells, add-ons, things you can do inside your attraction, outside your attraction. So you already have the customers there. Might as well offer them more things that they could pay for. We do a deep dive into many sources of revenue that you can add to your attraction this season. Yes, it is not too late. We also have special guests on from Scarehouse Windsor. They go into what they did at their attraction, a really cool concept. We'll call it interactive dinner experiences. It may seem complicated when you think about it, but actually the way they did it, anybody can do it. And if you can't do it, having trouble coming up with the process to do an interactive dinner experience, Shawn Lippert and his team could help you out. I sure would like to experience one of these one day. I think that'd be awesome. Our Scare Badge orders are rolling in, so guys, once you start getting your scare actors through, start getting your scare actors hired, you kind of know what your team numbers are, go to scarebadges.com and get your badges. Everything is in stock. We'll have it within a week to your mailbox. We're filling orders all day, every day. Don't forget about your scare actors this year. Well, let's roll into it. Our master class about upgrades and upsells and add-ons with the crew from Scarehouse Windsor. I want to welcome everybody here tonight. We are talking about upsells and upgrades for your haunted attraction. So this is Shawn Lippert from Scarehouse Windsor and his crew. Go and introduce yourself, guys. So
My name's Shawn Lippert, and I'm one of the co-owners of Scarehouse Windsor. And
I'm Tommy Gagno. I'm a co-owner and production manager for Scarehouse Windsor.
I'm Dennis Stojkovic. I do all the technical gadgets and whatnots in the haunted house for them.
Excellent. We're going to watch a video that they've, their latest project. I guess this is the 5th year, going into the 5th year, on interactive dinner experiences. So they're doing something really cool that a lot of people aren't doing in this industry, which Shawn brought this up to me. And I think I agree with Shawn that this could be a new thing for a lot of haunts that need to earn or need to add extra revenue to their attraction. We'll get into that. We'll show you the video and then we'll take questions about interactive dinner stuff. And then I have a presentation after that we're going to talk about several ways that you can do upsells and upgrades at your attraction and make some more revenue. Maybe not building new things. I know some things you might have to build on, expand your haunt, but a lot of these things you can do with things you already have, your existing space, your existing revenue, your resources. And then we'll take your questions as we go along. So
if you have questions, we've got a chat box. You'll notice at the bottom of your screen, there's a little talking balloon there. It says chat. So if you pop that open, you can ask your questions in there and we will ask them to the to everybody. And hopefully we'll get everything answered for you should you have any questions. So keep an eye on that.
I have a long list
box.
of questions myself. So
yeah, if we let you get your questions in.
Right. Shawn, while I'm setting this up, tell us a little bit about Scarehouse and what you guys do.
well, Scarehouse is in Windsor, Ontario, Canada. We're stone's throw away from Detroit. To put it in perspective for all us haunt heads, we're about 40 minutes from Erebus. So yeah, that's we're in the pocket for very competitive haunted house industry, but man, it makes it for some really exciting things locally. And my job is basically to try to get them over the border, which is like pulling teeth sometimes for Americans. But we do our best to get them over here. But as for in Canada, we draw from as far north or east is as Toronto and then the Greater Horseshoe and coming down. So like that's about 4 hours from us, but that's our region. And we've been in operation now for 16 years. We were a traveling circus up until about 7 years ago. And then like everybody else, and it doesn't matter who you're talking to or whatever seminar you're in at Transworld, the number one thing that anybody will say, they'll say you need to buy your building. And we did. So we have 90,000 square feet. It's 3 floors. We're locked in. We're in like ticks, as they say.
Mm-hmm. And you guys added the dinner experience, was it like 4 years ago? This be your 5th year?
We did it first year of COVID. It'll explain it in the video more precisely, but the quick note was that we have a buddy of ours that, you know, was just looking to do something during COVID, and he said, "Hey, I got a chef. Why don't you guys build a room for me, and I'll have the chef service the meal in there." And we didn't do anything that year for COVID because we didn't even know that we were going to be open. And we had the time and the energy to do it. And we whipped one up pretty quick and we presented it. They had a blast. And then we said, "Hey, we're open. Let's open this to the public." And like roughly that first year, can't remember exactly how many people we did, but I think it was just shy of 200 people. We had like 10 seatings or 20 seatings of 10. COVID was weird. You could only have 10 people sitting at one table and you couldn't be, you know, a certain part. So we just made it one room. And then the following year I added 3 rooms and then we just kept going. And then this year we added 2 more rooms, but the one room can seat 50 and the other room can seat 28. So we're exponentially growing. And this year we can get roughly about 350 people per night.
Wow.
And they pay $125 a plate. So the math, you can add it up pretty quick.
Let's share this video and we watch it. It's about 12 minutes long, guys. So, but this was shot for what show again?
It was done on the Bell network. In Canada, Bell is pretty popular. I don't think you guys, Daryl, do you get it out west or you get something else?
Yeah, we get Bell out west as well. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you get the Bell 5 network? I think
I don't personally. So I'm on we're on TELUS for our network and then Rogers for our phones. So basically they're another tel and media company, right?
Yeah, so it was like basically the best example I can give for Americans would be like Clear Channel. You know, they have multiple ways and Bell does everything. And they also do network television. They do Crave, which would be the same as, I don't even know what the hell that would be over in the States, but roughly, yeah, it's a network show and it's on their 5 network.
This is going to give you a little behind the scenes of the interactive dinner stuff, how they kind of move food around, how they built the sets, the ideas. And then once this plays, we'll take some more questions about it. And I may need to turn the sound up. Let me know if you guys can hear this when it starts playing.
This podcast episode sponsored by Scarehouse Badges.
We always were looking for ideas to get those actors to take it to the next level. I really want to do something that they can use more than just a meal, or they can use more than just a that a boy, that a girl. They love this stuff, but it's not really promoting a haunter. And then I sit down, Scarehouse Badges comes out. That's when I realized this is amazing, because not only is it giving them an attaboy, but it's also promoting them all year round. And to promote somebody, to give somebody accolades all year round and have them be able to wear it on their shoulder with pride means a lot. This right here says this is who nailed it on this day in this year for the rest of their life, for the rest of their haunting life. And that's what I really love about this product, is you're able to give haunting to somebody an attaboy 365 days a year. And that's, so hats off to you guys. I think this is a great product and I wish you the best of luck because it's awesome.
Get your Scare Badges at scarebadges.com.
Can you hear it? Can you see it? Okay. Daryl can't see it.
Scary.
Sorry, Daryl. I'll send you the video later.
For haunted attractions. Hauntpay.com.
How many are in dinner tonight?
How about a hello
hello when you walk in the door. Hi.
This is Mandy. She runs the kitchen.
Hi, everyone. This is Shawn. He's a jerk.
When we try to explain what the dinner experience is to people, they kind of look at us, with two heads.
We just finished our first sitting with 36. We flipped it in like 10 minutes. Now we're about to do a 39. So that's almost a full house for us. We got 46 for a full house. Then we got to flip it again for a third sitting for a 22. So we're bumping in here tonight. We're busy. My name is Mandy Biondo, and I run the immersive dinners. The kitchen's like 150 degrees.
Look at my lens, Mandy. Look what is happening back here.
Sean's telling me that the air conditioning is too high for him upstairs in his little bougie office. How did I get sucked in a Scarehouse? Well, he's got a hoodie on and his hood's up.
I'll be here with pants and scarves and everything.
His little ears are full, and we're down here dripping. Shawn Lippert gave me a phone call last year around July, August time, and he said he's got a new adventure that he's doing, something new. So I showed up at Scarehouse, and he pitched me this idea of the immersive dining experience, and I thought it was crazy cool, and so I said yes. And I didn't exactly know what I was saying yes to at the time, but I said yes.
Did everybody have a good dinner tonight?
An immersive dinner is a combination of storytelling, technology, and theater, combining them all into one and doing it in 90 minutes and getting a 5-star meal at the same time.
Sean's been trying to get me to go through this thing for years and years, and I always say no to him because I'm the biggest chicken. So when he phoned me to come in here, it was the first time I'd been in the building, and it was the first time I'd seen the rooms. He didn't even really explain to me about the rooms. He just said, we want to do these dinners.
In 2020, we didn't think we were going to open, so we didn't want to spend anything. All of a sudden, we found out that we were going to be open. Our friend Eddie, the one that had the proposal, he was like, I want you to serve dinner to me and my friends in the haunt. I'll supply the chef. You guys give me what you guys do. Because we had that 10 days, I was like, okay, so who do we go to? We went to Colleen.
A lot of the decorating is kind of like, what do we have to use and how can we make what we already own work?
Next thing you know, boom, we have the Cursed Manor.
Why are you still here? I warned you about overstaying your welcome.
When you sit in there, you think Addams Family old school feel to it.
Pulling that room together turned out so awesome and so cool. Thank goodness that they trust me enough to just throw some things together.
Eddie comes in, we serve the meal. They were over the moon. And we're like, well, other people like this. Why not? Let's try it. We do it. I think we sat 20 tables, which was a sellout for us. We were ecstatic. And everybody that walked out goes, that was amazing, it was phenomenal. So then all of a sudden, the haunt, in a sense, started a new vein.
The boys just realized that people loved this room and that there was a market for it.
I said, I want to build 3 rooms. I took the horns on that. We can do this. Because I know that I got an ace in my pocket, and that's Colleen.
I think we probably came up with like 20 different ideas. This is the exact opposite of everything in Scarehouse. At Two Waves, I have some signature wallpaper. I've done like this quilted pattern behind our pedicure areas. We bought the building, and the wallpaper that was on the wall was so old that when you started to pick it off to remove it, the behind plaster was coming with it. And I'm like not really patient to deal with wallpaper. I think the few pieces of wallpaper in the haunt are mismatched, wrinkled, and falling off, which is kind of how it goes for me. So working in a 1 square sheet, which is scrapbooking paper, I thought I was going to be a scrapbooker and actually put together albums of memories, but that never actually happened. So luckily, came up with that idea and glued it to the entire wall. When I was putting together the Mad Hatter room, it needed more life, it needed more chaos, it needed more color. So naturally, I brought out my wallpapering skills and put them to work. I actually did the floor and walls, and I did the table in the seance room.
Colleen did such a beautiful job of decorating it. I was here when she was putting these all together, and I can't get over her talent.
That room was my favorite to do because it felt most like me, and it was that weird twisted edge that I couldn't do here. So it was like, that room is like the merging of Scarehouse and Two Waves.
This room that we're sitting in right here, we call the Mad Hatter. And this is more of a whimsical, happy, entertaining type room. Less haunt, more entertaining.
Colleen had exactly what she wanted to do for the Mad Hatter's room. I knew what I wanted to do in the cabin in the woods.
My uncle passed away, and my cousin was kind enough to donate a lot of things from their house. He used to be a taxidermist.
Disgusting poor baby animals on the wall and old vintage brown chairs and brown tables. So it's got that cabin feeling when you walk in. People love that room. That was the first room that we did that had 4 top tables, so seating for 4 at a table.
Some nights last year, there was empty tables because we couldn't fill a tent. Like this, Manny?
Yeah, like this. Is that why we're here?
Well, we're looking at tables. What, you think we're coming in?
I thought we were coming to have coffee with Ronaldo.
That's next week.
Yeah.
That's next week.
Oh, there's 4s.
Yeah, but those are sit down.
Yeah, that's what I need.
Oh, I got a ton of those.
Oh.
Like these things?
Yes. It's easier to bring 3 friends than it is to find 9 friends. That's a 36.
No, you're right. Absolutely.
What was that?
You're right. You're right.
Can I take 4 of those?
Go ahead, take.
Okay, just 36 more tables. You make one phone call to Ronaldo and he's like, yeah, come and meet me down there. That's where our community makes sense. Having connections like that, I guess.
Heads up, he has no spatial awareness.
Thing about Ronaldo is that at one time we were competitors. But what makes Ronaldo a good business person is I remember being young and a hothead and being like little mini fights with other competitors. But Ronaldo would be like, he's the first guy goes, hey, guys, come on, we're fishing out of the same bucket. Let's just strategize. Like he was more of a collaborator that way. And that's why I think helping him become a city council person, actually having him as a representative makes sense. He is that collaborator. He is a bridge that can bring people together. And as a politician, I think that's a strength for him. And look at what he just did. Meet me down there at 9:30. We'll go through, we'll take a look, see if there's anything there. All of a sudden we find 4 tables and now we're like loading up a truck and going there and he's going on to the next meeting. Like, who does that? Ronaldo Agostino does that.
Who would have thought, eh? Catering at a haunted house. We knew that we had to partner with somebody that can handle the volume of the dinner rooms and multiple seatings per night. Oh, we just did a seating of 30 people, and now we're going to pick up the food for the next seating. That's why we approached Nico's Taverna on Erie Street.
It took me a while to wrap my head around it, and I'm not even sure I ever really did.
He kind of got sucked into this whole thing just like I did. Nick had no clue what we were talking about. He knew it was catering.
I've always known about haunted houses, but I'd never been in one. I used to want to go to one, but as I've gotten older, I haven't, I still haven't gone to theirs.
Last year, it was kind of like, we kind of had to talk them into it because they didn't get what we were.
Then once it started, I think he really recognized what we were doing here. And then when they all came in to see what was happening.
I couldn't believe how much work they put into it and the thought and the creativity.
Nick is incredible. He's a fantastic chef. He is wonderful for us to work with.
We're lucky, and it's been a great relationship. He's getting a lot of marketing out of it, so it's really win-win.
My part didn't seem to be that hard. It was just, here's the food, and then good luck with however you're going to do it. I wasn't sure how they were going to pull it off or if it was going to work. I didn't think it would work, to be honest with you.
A haunted house dinner experience for tables of 2 up to 16. An experience you will never forget. A 90-minute production inside Canada's premier haunted attraction. Taking reservations now. Reserve today online at scarehousewindsor.com.
My most favorite is Mitch's Fortune. So you walk in and it's got the jewels on the wall and the beautiful draping that makes you feel really cozy and it's like secluded in there. And in that table, it's more of like a seance feel when you're eating.
It was just going to be storage. But because we had done the rooms, they looked phenomenal. We had the space. We sat down, we said, okay, let's do this. Let's figure it out. Let's come up with a room. I think the room was done in a week.
So the big finale in that room is the one we love the most. The air pistons would go off on the table and it elevates about a foot, I think, off the ground. And people would scream and yell and go crazy about it. So each room kind of has its own theme and it has its own feel.
They came together better than I expected, and I think everyone's really proud of them.
So the dinner package includes a 1.5-hour immersive dinner experience. After you're done that, we take you upstairs through the fast pass line of the haunt of Scared Evil, And then after that, you come through and not wait in line anywhere else. So when you start looking at the entire experience of the dinner, it's about 2.5 hours. And the value, when you start breaking it all down, the value is there.
Honestly, I haven't heard anything other than positive reviews and experiences about the whole thing, about the room, about how scared people are, the dinner, everything.
It's 128 people got served tonight.
Mandy's great. If it wasn't for her energy, her enthusiasm, and her hard work, honestly, I might have pulled out of this, to tell you the truth. It might have been too much for us, but she really lightens the load. And she gets us excited. She comes in here and talks to my staff and makes us laugh. It's fun. All of October is fun. That's what I've got to look forward to.
Mandy, oh my gosh, I love Mandy. She's known Shawn longer than I have.
Shawn and I have been friends for 30 years. That ages me. Shawn and I went to high school together. Gary and I went to high school together. Danny and I went to high school together. So all three of us have been buds for the last 30 years. Yeah, since I was 14 years old. So Shawn and I have just been, he's like a brother to me. I adore Shawn. I love Shawn dearly. When he phoned and said what he was doing, I was kind of laissez-faire about it until I saw it. Until I saw what he was actually pulling off. And then I thought, oh my God, I have to be a part of this.
Mandy is awesome. I keep trying to steal her, keep trying to get her to quit her job to come with us full time.
I am very glad I said yes. And again, honored and happy that they asked me, and to be part of this team. I'm really happy.
So how was it, Daryl?
Sounded great. Brian did send me the file, so I will get a chance to watch it.
Okay, perfect.
Later, so.
Do you know what causes haunted attractions to shut down before they even get started? The top 3 roadblocks are lack of funding, lack of leadership, lack of resources. As a member of the Haunters Toolbox, you get instant access to the tools you need to start and grow your own haunted attraction business. To get started, become a member at haunterstoolbox.com.
But sounds like you guys have been going great guns then for a few years on something that's a little different than your regular haunted attraction. You're still run the haunted attraction throughout the season, correct?
Correct. We just added, well, literally an entire wing.
Wow.
And the dinners are year round, all season.
No, well, we just do it through the season.
Just
That's
through the
it.
season. Okay.
I mean, you're right. It can be done all year round. We just haven't chosen to take that route yet. A lot of things that we needed to do, like for one, is buy our building. So we bought our building, and so I mean, we're doing a party on July 20th called the Summer Scream. Our other business partner just threw us a birthday party like July 17th out of the blue. Danny, I don't know if you know about that, but yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we gotta get everything ready for July 17th, Danny, just to let you know.
So, but yeah, so we can go
Surprise.
that route. Yeah.
It's like that. It was like that with the dinner rooms.
Yeah.
Through the chats, I got, we're gonna redo the dinner to the dining room. So I'm thinking they're gonna redo the dining room in the haunt. So all of a sudden I come in and they made a dining room. Like, can you make stuff move in here? And can you like do this? I'm like, we have 5 days. All right, let's get started. Like, it was funny. So,
now you already had some of the props available in hand. No?
No.
Anything that moves, like we just got to figure out how to make it move. Like doors shaking, or like I made a table smasher like underneath the table that'll start knocking the table up and down. And it was more like they have these ideas and then they throw it by me. I'm like, no, that ain't gonna work. I can't do that. And then like, yes, you can. I'm like, no, I can't. Yes, you can. And then it happens. It's good. These guys are fantastic. They have great ideas.
They believe in you a lot if they know that you can do it. And sometimes, you doubt yourself a little bit, but then you end up doing it anyway.
It ends up working out.
Obviously, they got the person that knows what to do and can do it. So
thank you.
So you got a 90-minute meal. What kind of stuff, without giving anything away or everything away, what kind of stuff goes on? Like, you have multiple courses and things in between them, or is it a story, or
So yeah, I told Brian that we'll open this up. Like we really do feel that like this could be another thing that would help the entire haunted house industry, where it would just make it that much better. So I said we'll keep it an open book, right from numbers to like how we do it. Like that's the only way something like this is gonna grow. So I mean, like I'm not gonna hold the cards to the chest. So what we did was is like if anybody's familiar with any type of working with a boo box or a flex, there's a button and it's just a trigger. And then we set it up and we put it in a position that the waitress or the waiter would know where it was. So they would come in, they would do, anybody that would understand a circle of service is that when they come in, they sit down, you get your drink order. And then after you get your drink order, then you got to bring in the first course. So we have a pasta course. And then when they all get their pasta, the waitress would go over into the control room and hit button number 1 for that story, and then it starts that story. And every room has a different story coming through, and then it runs through its 2-minute thing. And then the next course would come in after they clear the tables. And then on that second one, we would bring in an actor. And I saw that Tony asked a question like, do we have actors come in and go in with the meal? And yes, that's true. The actor will carry along the story. And it's another 2-minute, 3-minute thing. And in most rooms, Denny has set up a thing where the actor will react to something that's happening in the room, like something will bang on the wall or things like that, and then that actor would leave, and then they would come in with the main meal, and then they would eat the main meal, clear the table, and then there would be a dessert, and then just after the dessert, you would have I guess you call the crescendo or the big reveal, and there was something that would happen at the end of the story to wrap it all up, and it's usually like something revealing. And Denny, kind of make a noise so we can show them the cabin in the woods. Denny's background is a cabin in the woods.
I'll pin Danny, let me spotlight. There we
Okay,
go.
so there, you can see the little boy in the back between the two goat horns. That was the little boy that talks in the room. Things will happen. But if you look to the top left where the coyote is, you can see a little bit of a black light. And over on the wall,
The W is.
right kind of where the W is, there's a board there. And so what we'll do is that we'll call ahead and we'll find out from one of the people that are sitting in this room if they're having a birthday or something along those lines. And we'll take the name and we'll write it down in I guess it's a fluorescent paint.
Blacklight pen.
Yeah, like you can't see it until there's blacklight on it. So it'd say Daryl on it, and then it'd be there the whole time. And then at the end, we have the room, and then the little boy just kind of snaps and goes, "All right, that's it. I'm gonna kill all of you, but I don't know which one it's gonna be." And he goes, "Eeny, meeny, miny, mo." And then the lights turn off, and then there's this like anticipated someone's gonna get it. And then at the end, he goes, "The only one person." He goes, "Catch up, eeny, meeny, miny," and it goes, "Mo." And the lights turn off, the black light comes on, and it has the name, and it'll say Daryl on the wall. And then there's like a gasp of everybody in the room. And that's just that one room there.
And what we did is we took a piece of the siding that you see all around the room. We actually write the name on that. So it's actually on 2 little wooden pegs. So we have plenty of boards, but I have a wood planer. So we can reuse the board. So we plane the name off of those boards so that the board can actually be removed off the wall. So if we have, say, 3 sittings?
We have 3 seatings in there.
3 seatings in a night. The waitress can come in, take that board off, grab the next board for the next dinner, put it on, and none's the wiser because it almost blends in with the wall. You don't even see it.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
It's a very unique, immersive experience that really only haunters can pull off.
Because
you've got the background for it, definitely.
They got the set design, the lights, the
Yeah,
animatronics, the building, the actors.
We have all the tools. What some people just might not understand is like hospitality. We just happen to know it like the back of our hand, and it's very easy for us, but we have the right people to do it. And for example, you would see Mandy in that show, and Mandy ran Caesar's Hospitality, the casino. So when I brought her in, I was like, "Hey, this is what I think about doing. Can you handle, maybe 40 in this particular seating?" And she'd be like, "Shawn, I can shit 700 for lunch." It's not a problem. So yeah, so it really, it's about getting that combination of that of all the right pieces all coming together and working in unison.
What was your biggest challenge setting this up?
Well, I mean, the timing of it, like Denny said, we were like, hey, we want to do this. Denny, talk about how when we were trying to figure out the table, that was for misfortune.
So that was kind of funny because I come from a industrial, like I build automated welding machines for a living. So coming to a table, I'm looking at safety. I'm like, I can't have anybody fall. I can't have any like pinch hazards or anything. And so I was like, keep it simple, stupid. So like we ended up like just bolting a cylinder, like a 750-pound cylinder to some 2x4s and put underneath the table, and then we put the legs inside of a couple PVC pipes to keep it in place, and it lifts up and lifts down. The trick was like to make sure the drinks are empty, because you don't want to spill a drink on that table because it's so wobbly.
And the one thing
the biggest concern I had was like trying to program these rooms. We had
we flipped it
peekaboo
over.
MP3s, so you only have 4 channels.
We were thinking backwards, and like we had the piston and it was pushing up on the table. And then Denny came in one day and he went, oh shit. He's like, we got to go this backwards. We got to turn it around and push off the floor so the whole unit comes up. So it was a lot of trial and error that way.
Yeah.
But isn't that a lot what haunting design is sometimes it's just trial and error.
A lot.
I had these slides all in there.
Great.
Like,
this is going to work just like I want, and it doesn't.
We did the chandelier had to shake, and it's coming off a 7-foot ceiling coming down. And part of the story, the chandelier is going to go. And then one of the guys that was helping us build it, we couldn't get it to shake. You'd think that'd be easy for us to figure out how to shake a chandelier, but it was so far, the motor and the inertia just wasn't giving the effect that we wanted. It was just like you wanted this crazy shaking, it wouldn't do it. But then it took this guy to come in. He's like, no. He goes like, this is how you got to do it. And he built it into the chandelier. And we're like, oh, because we're trying to shake the whole thing. But what you're shaking up here, it's doing this at the bottom. But he put it and built it right into the actual chandelier, and it was perfect. And
then we had to rebuild them.
Yeah. We're actually we're extending that room out, and then we had to rebuild them, and we had to reverse engineer it. We're like, how is this guy doing it? He took RC parts for little RC controllers and little
for race cars.
Yeah, and then he used like all these little pieces.
So the motor for the wheels, for the rear wheels, he used the shocks as the stabilizers, and then he took the bracket for like a ceiling fan that kind of goes like an X with the pivot in the center. And that's how he has it screwed on. So your motor is attached and it's turning on an oblong piece of wheel, and it's causing it to literally just go up and down. So it's like a pump action. We're thinking it's so complicated until I had to sit there and look at it. And I'm like, Shawn, it's no different than a well pump.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all he's doing. It's pivoting on a fulcrum.
A well pump this big.
Yep.
And that's shaking a big ass chandelier.
Yeah. Yep. That's why we got Denny for stuff like that.
I was trying to keep it simple this year, and like, so I know we're running out of time, and I bought these little vibrating motors. Yeah, like you said, the inertia just gets rid of them.
I forgot to tell you, we're putting them in the seats underneath the cushions.
Beautiful.
So what's your what room do you like the best?
Personally for me, it's the one that we're building right now that excites me the most. We're trying to build, we want to make a black and white movie for real. And we just like, how do you do it? So you paint everything black and white and everybody shows up in old clothing. But then the guy that actually produced that show, his name's Gavin, he found a light, or told us about a light. It's monochromatic. And then we had to really find the research and find this light. And you just can't get it anywhere. And it was really frustrating. We worked on it for about 10 months.
Yeah.
And then finally, I saw a YouTube video of a professor that was talking about it, like in a lecture. And I'm just gonna send a message. And he was in England, and his name was Dr. James Cross. And I was like, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to make a room where everybody in the room is in a real black and white movie. And then he was just like, oh yeah, you need this. It's a low sodium pressured light. And they're very common in the 90s, but not so much now because we're all LEDs. So he goes, this is where you get them. So I shipped them over here. We set them up actually just this Friday to see if it would work. And holy shit, it does. Like, we were in the room and we're just staring at each other going like, you look black and white. Like we were in a black and white movie. So now we're going to make a Universal Studios real movie where we're going to do Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, and we're going to serve the meal and tell the story, but we're going to take it to the next level because we already knew Cabin in the Woods. We use that light where you shine the black light on it, and it's now color. And we want to have our Dorothy moment from The Wizard of Oz. And when Dorothy opens the door from a black and white movie and then she goes into Oz, it's now Technicolor. And everybody in the movie theater back in 1938 was like, whoa, because they had never seen it before. We were going to recreate that scene in our room where we turn off the low sodium lights and turn on black lights, and then you're going to get a Technicolor movie. So like that's what we're really working on now to make that work.
Right on.
So, said you weren't shy about sharing your numbers. Can you tell us a little bit about your maybe how much it costs per meal?
Sure.
Your numbers, what they get through the haunt, the package deal, and
I think Scarrett badges are one of the smartest things I've seen in the industry in a really long time. Scarrett badges are basically either pins or embroidered patches, kind of like merit badges, as they are, somewhat named after, from Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts and Brownies, and where after you've accomplished something, you can wear the brag tag of the embroidered patch. Some haunts put them on jackets, some put them on t-shirts, some put them on, with the pins, I've seen them put them on lanyards. But the neat thing about them is they are very specific in what they are rewarding. And they're haunt-based images that reflect what's being rewarded. It's retention, it is bringing people back, and it's actually giving your haunters, your haunt performers, the ability to share that they are haunt performers. And, oh really, you're a scare actor. Where do you do that? And then they will insert the name of your haunt right there. So it's also marketing. I've always been a big fan of Scarrett badges. I think they're great. So check them out, scarrettbadges.com. No, that is not a paid advertisement. That is just my recommendation. I think it's really cool.
ScottSwinson.com.
So we made a deal with our chef that he was going to give us at $35 a plate. So we would start with that. So then we would work backwards from there. So we're like, okay, what do we charge? And we have a hospitality background, and we roughly want to keep our labor percentage about 22%. So that's where we want to hone in on. But you're also starting it's high dining. It's high level, like you're serving from the right, you're offering them wine, you're giving them craft beers and things along those lines. So you want to make sure that you have decent wear for service. You saw that some of them were put on chargers, so there is an actual fee to get this thing started, from tables and chairs from that point of view. But we charge $125 a plate, and that will include the hospitality the gratuity and the taxes. So when you minus from all of that, you're basically getting about $65 for a ticket to go in the haunt. So when you look at it from that way of thinking, I don't know, like we charge, what's our
$45
$45
for all 5. That's without Skip the Line, which is our VIP package. So with the dinners, you're spending $125, but you're also getting that $45 plus the VIP package, which is when you add it all in, it's actually $75 a person if you come in through our front door and buy it from the ticket booth. If you just want to buy the ticket of all 5 with the VIP passes, you're spending $75. This, you're getting $10 less, plus you're getting the dinner and everything else that goes along with it.
So you're creating value for your customer, but at the same time, it's just a spot in line, like that. So we obviously we work with Alex at Haunt Pay, and he's just over the border for us. We could see him in 10 minutes. So he sponsors a lot of stuff with us. Like he sponsored the video. With your time ticketing, you could actually book it in. So back with the video, that was roughly, she said we sat 100 people for the, what was it, 40? I forget, because it's such a long time ago. Our numbers are so much bigger now. Like it almost made me laugh when she was like, we're
130, was it?
No, she goes, we had 33 tonight. Yeah. We're really cooking. And I'm like, oh my God, Mandy, we got 114 now. She's gonna shit when I coming around. Like we're quadrupling the numbers on her. But yeah, like when you're taking that number, you just slide it into your time ticketing. So you'll just basically book off a half an hour for the haunt. And when the dinner goes in, it no time for the wear. I mean, like it's just a sold out time slot when you're doing time ticketing. So the first year that we did it, we would only be able to sit 10 people per table, and we did it 20 times. So roughly 200 people. That's what we did. And then the next year we did 745, and then we did 795 or 785. And last year we were 1250, 1,250. And then this year we're looking to seat per night roughly about 350 per night. We'll do 114 per seating at 125 bucks a plate.
Right.
It
So
adds
that's
up pretty quick.
the
But
3
you're also
dinners.
paying your staff. You got to pay, for your food and stuff. So you're not millionaires, but it is definitely an upsell. Logistics question though, do you run all 3 rooms each night?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
And then do you stagger? So you do one seating, like one room or you start all of them at 7 o'clock sort of thing?
start them. So we'll open the haunt, say at 6 o'clock, and we'll do 3 seatings. So we'll do the first seating at 5, and then a 7, and then a 9. So the first one's easy. They're all in the haunt. And then they're in there for 90 minutes. So I'll schedule off. If they started at 5, that means at 6:30, we'll block that off so that they can go through the haunt. And then we got to do that again throughout the rest of the night. But yeah, we seat them all the one time. And the biggest problem that we have isn't getting the food out. We can handle all that. It's getting the drinks, which is, again, what Brian's going to be talking about is the upsell, because it's an ancillary source of revenue. Everybody that comes in, they're celebrating. Like, this is a very special, they paid $125 for the ticket. So like now we're offering them specialty cocktails, and some of our specialty cocktails are at 15 to 20 bucks for one drink.
Yeah. So how many bartenders and how many serving staff and like what kind of numbers do you have for staff for doing this?
So on the bar, we'll put 4 people in for the actual haunt. We call it the deadway. You can think of it as being like a piazza. So it's centered, and then all the haunts are around them in our building, almost like a mall in a sense. So they're always running through they'll run right through the deadway. They might pick up a drink here and there, but we actually have a dedicated person just for service that will serve the restaurant to get the drinks for the waitresses. And this year, because we're growing to the next level, we added in a table or a room of 50, and we added another room of 28 because we sold out all last year, and we don't want to sell out this year. We want to be able to handle the demand. So we actually built a bar specifically just to handle the restaurant. No one else will be able to touch that bar. It's just going to be for waitresses.
And it's in the restaurant wing of the haunt. So instead of being in the main bar area where if we got a crowded night, you're a waitress, you're trying to get drinks, people are waiting, you're fighting through a crowd. This bar is off to the side in that wing of the area where all our immersive dinners are. So then the wait staff is just bang, 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 just getting them going.
Now, some of this stuff you've obviously learned through trial and error, right?
Yeah. Well, most of it, like, because we have a background, like, my whole life I've been in, I own nightclubs, I own restaurants, I was a DJ. So like that stuff I knew like the back of my hand. And then we brought in the right people, like Mandy, she worked for Caesars, like it's very easy for her. So the fusion worked out really well for us because it works, but it can be done for others, and it's not really hard. I mean, as long as you have the right people that are involved.
The catering, how does
people? Yeah, go ahead, Brad.
How does the catering work?
We would actually go down. The restaurant is about 5 minutes from us, and this is an abandoned warehouse, right? So we just don't have a kitchen that we start cooking all this stuff in. It's a catering kitchen, and we would actually go down and drive and pick it up per seating to make sure that the food was always going to be fresh and everybody's going to have a good time with it. This year, we blew out a wall, and we're building a specific catering kitchen that will have warmers in it. We've got extra coolers. We're taking that next level, that next step to make sure that we can handle a lot of the stuff in-house, because we have to, just because of the numbers that we're doing. But in the beginning, it was we would call down about like what would be like around noon. They'd be doing prep, and they'd be like, okay, what do you got tonight? And we're like, okay, we got a 20. We have a 20 at 7, and then there's going to be a 30 at 9. And then they would write it down, and they would prep it and get it all ready. And then we go get the 20, come back, unload it, serve it, and then somebody else will go get and come back, unload it, and serve it. That's how we did it. It was very labor intensive, but there's no other way to do it.
In like a tight schedule, get a traffic jam or something like, oh.
Oh, you saw in the video Dario in his car. It was,
Yeah.
just loading up the car,
Uh-huh.
Yeah. It's a love-hate relationship out of that kitchen. They love us when we're around, but like when they got a full kitchen, and so we're just added on top. So they'll be like going full balls to the wall, and then we're like, "Hey, where's our food?" And then they open the door and they're like handing it over to us. So
So what others? Okay, you got the dinner experience. You have the bar, alcohol. What other stuff do you do? Upgrades, upsells, merchandise. What other kinds of stuff do you do for your?
Well, in the bar, it's easy to do. I mean, we'll do the popcorn. We have candy apples. We have the cotton candy. We at Transworld, you probably saw them. I can't remember the company, and I should know better. But they had they're called cyclones, and it would spin. In that, man, those things just go off. They're crazy.
Those potatoes?
No, a drink.
It's a drink.
Oh, it's a
They
drink.
got the
Okay.
dry ice
All right. Yeah.
packs.
Yeah, you would add it to the dry ice. They've been at Transworld 2 years now. And actually we sat in a seminar. I don't know what it was, but I think it was who was it? Well, at the beginning of his seminar, he's like, stop what you're doing, just go down, buy as many of these things as you can, because it's just a crazy upsell. And it is, man, because it's just candy water at, adding this dry ice. And you put some booze in it, and then all of a sudden people are just whipping out $20 bills to drink this shit.
And the great thing is you can serve it as a virgin cocktail.
Yeah, mocktails.
Or as a regular cocktail. So
kids will drink it.
Kids will drink it
at $10.
Right.
Yeah. We partnered up with
Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Kool-Aid, yeah.
We partnered up with a company called Soda Pop Brothers. They're just a craft soda pop, and then they made a drink called Vampire's Blood. We served that. We charge $5 for the drink. It's in its own bottle. It's really cool. A lot of the kids get it. We did the Windsor Police Services sponsored a Lights On tour here, and with that Lights On tour, we give the money. 100% of it goes to the Special Olympics. So we open up like at 1:00. We get 3 hours in it. And last year, I think we wrote a check for $4,000 to Special Olympics.
Right on.
Yeah.
So for your Lights On, do you still have actors and stuff during that, or is it?
We shut her down. Denny runs around and turns off all the machines. And then I go up and I turn the music off and I put on like Taylor Swift.
Make it really, try to make it really G. Right.
Yeah, and we turn on all the cleaning lights, and man, they line up down the street to come in for that. And actually, there's an episode in that the show where he shows and showcases that part of it, like how much we're involved with the community, and like that's important to us, and it's important to the community, especially because we do the Lights On tour, we do the Windsor Parade, for Canada Day, and we do the Christmas parade. We're very linked into our demographic here in the city.
Good. Now, what kind of population and customers do you have in the Windsor area then?
This is crazy. So if you take a pin and you put it on Windsor and you drive and you pull out like a 4-hour radius around us, you hit Chicago, Cleveland, Toronto, and all the way around. Like the greater area, you're talking like 30 million, 40 million people within 4 hours.
Wow.
Yeah. And the hardest part though is getting those damn Americans over the border. That's the hardest part. Ryan, you guys don't carry passports. What's going on with that?
Mine's been outdated for like 10 years. Sure, I can smuggle me over the border. Sorry.
Yeah. I used to own nightclubs and restaurants, and that's how we cut our teeth, because our drinking age in Windsor is 19 and it's 21. In Michigan, Illinois, Ohio, Indianapolis, New York, like all those kids would come over, and it was just a rite of passage. But obviously everything changed after COVID, because that border was shut down for 2 years. Nothing was going over it.
Yeah. Our drinking age is still 18 here in Alberta. So
there you go. So what, you have like Lethbridge down there, you get some Americans that probably come up that way.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
It was a bread and butter, man. At one time we had in downtown Windsor, it was like Tijuana of the North. But actually, Detroit is north of us because we dipped down.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
Well, let's roll into this. This gives our listeners and viewers some more things to do with their haunted attraction. This came directly from Haunt Pay. I talked to Alex. He said I could use it for this PowerPoint. So if you guys, Haunt Pay is an excellent ticketing company. So go check out all your ticketing needs at hauntpay.com.
It's the only one that we use. We love them.
I've
Right
been, yeah, it's about 80% of the people I talk to use Haunt Pay. So if you guys have any ideas when I scroll through these, just let me know. And
I'll just share, like, because most of them that are on this list, I'm pretty sure that we've done or we are doing.
That's the Haunt Pay link, hauntpay.com, add-ons and upsells. Okay, revenue fundamentals. I've always been taught there's 3 ways to increase your revenue: increase the number of your guests, increase your per guest revenue, or raise your prices. So basically, sell more to your people or get more people, right? And best thing is try to do all 3. Raise your prices when you can. I know when I started Dead Factory, started at 15. And over 7 years, we got up to 25 in this market is where we were.
We started at $5 16 years ago, and we are now at $45.
That's for 5 attractions.
For 5 attractions.
5 attractions.
Yeah.
So as you increase more value, start adding the monetary part of it as you increased we got bigger. Right?
Yeah, and what you're saying is exactly what we're doing. You get them through the door, and then when you get them through the door, however you do it, now it's a new customer, and we always envision almost like grabbing them by the ankles and just kind of like shaking out their pockets, right?
Mhm.
Whatever you can.
What else can
Is
you
that one of the
buy?
props that Denny has built?
Yeah.
That was next year. Or they're gonna let me know like 3 days before we open.
Yeah. Yeah. They forgot to tell you they needed this Friday.
Yeah. It'll get done.
And the increase course upsells increase guest experience. Add-ons and upsells can not only increase your haunt's revenue, they can also enhance the guest experience. When visitors feel special, they're more likely to have more memorable moments that make them want to return in the future, and increases the chances that they will have stories, photos, videos to share with their friends on social.
Photo ops.
That's
Yeah,
another thing.
photo
Photo
ops,
ops,
perfect.
have your banners set up, have your signs, have your actor meet and greets. They're gonna be talking about some of that in this thing too.
Now, so for your VIP, which is is that just sort of a skip the line pass?
Yeah, it's there's 3 levels to it, and we added a $100 ticket where we assign them concierge, like his name's Chad. He's our guy, and he goes and takes them. He sits with them. He tells them the story, how the haunt, like it's like for your connoisseur that wants to know more about like the attraction, and he goes into detail about it, and we allow them to go in behind the scenes, and we even let them scare a little bit, but they see the entire thing, and that's $100 a ticket.
Wow.
He'll sell like sometimes 6 or 7 of those a night because there's only so many that he can do, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So once the customer comes in, they pay their $45. They see that lineup at haunt number 3 is too long. Do you still let them go buy a VIP at that point?
They can.
Yeah.
Right on.
All of our haunts on our 2nd floor, our bar area, we don't really have a long lineup. It's just pushing the cabin through, right? Processing the meat. Upstairs is the only one where we really have a true queue line where we actually have them line up because it's time, because that's our biggest haunt. And for our actors to get a proper scare, we got to make sure that we're spacing out the groups just enough so that we can get the first group in, they get a couple feet ahead before we send in that another group, so you're not getting conga lines and ruining scares for everybody. But down on the 2nd floor, those are our $5 add-ons. We just kind of push the people through those. They still get a good experience, but that's not the top dollar that they're paying for.
Think of it like when we use the mall as the analogy, like let's use, like, I guess you could say Sears, if there's not many left, but Sears is like the one that people go through, and they go through that first, and then now they're in the mall. That's the same thing as Scarehouse. They go through Scared Evil, which is the main attraction, and now we have multiple other smaller attractions that are right centered around the Deadway, which is the bar and the snacks and things like that.
It's a good idea because they actually have to pay to get into the haunt, right?
Mhm.
In order to experience all that stuff.
Yeah, they can't buy just the smaller haunts. They have to buy the main haunt. Last year we stopped just doing the main haunt alone. We did the main haunt with two extra haunts, so that was a $35 package deal. or we had the 45 package deal, which is all 5 haunts. So we just felt that just selling the main haunt, because we had to staff somebody and pay someone to do upgrades as they came down, going, hey, you want to try this haunt? Want to try this haunt? That's costing us too much money on paying a staff to stand there to try to upgrade, when we just eliminate that element altogether and have it as you buy package 1, which is 1 haunt with 2 add-ons, or you buy all 5. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to buy all 5 because it's only a $10 upgrade.
What's the biggest haunt is square footage and walkthrough time? What's the big one?
Haunted Darkness is roughly about 13,000 square feet.
Yeah, but Scared Evil is the
Oh, sorry.
biggest.
Yeah, sorry. I meant Scared Evil. Scared Evil is
Yeah.
13,000 square feet, and it takes them about 20 minutes, 15 minutes.
20, 25 minutes, depending on speed and everything else.
Yeah, like
except for those 2 scared girls at the beginning of the evening and make it through in 8.5 minutes.
Oh my God, they run through it. Yeah.
Or the ones that
Or
get
you get
lost.
Or the ones that get lost and take 45 minutes.
Right.
We've done it where you can spend in the haunt, if you do the dinner and you do all 5, it's roughly about a 2.5 hour experience.
Okay, which
And
is not
that's
bad.
something they're going to
for-
remember, right?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely going to remember that.
Okay, last one was increases guest experience. This is improves guest experience. So think about it like this. A burger is great, but a burger with fries is even better. A private chair on the beach is nice, but a lounge chair decked with an umbrella and a personal fan is a much nicer experience. Sure, it costs a little more, but many of us are happy to upgrade our experience and pay a premium for the added convenience, comfort, and enjoyment. I know I've seen this marketing, unless, I study marketing a lot, and they say that you create those high-end offers, even though you may not get a lot of them, but there's always a market for everything, right? There's going to be a client that's going to be like, oh no, I want this VIP line, or I want that fancy drink, or I want the whole package. I want everything. I want the t-shirt. So package your stuff together.
The dinner experience that for us brought in a clientele that would normally never come into a haunted house. So some of the haunted houses that it's a very lowbrow type of entertainment, and they just won't be caught dead in it. But what they will do is be caught dead having a 5-star meal, an immersive dinner experience, and then the add-on to them is the haunted house, and they just realize like, oh my God, I enjoy this. I love this so much. We would never, if I was trying to market to that person, they would never come into the haunt. It's like we're tricking them. We're like, oh, come in for an amazing meal. We'll tell you a great story. But then why don't you try the haunt while you're here? And that's how you get $125 out of that person.
Right. Give them a little taste of it.
Well, if you're trying to get an average, say, an income of a person that comes into the haunt, I bet you it would be middle class to lower. But then how do you get in your ballers? Like, how do you get in those people that are driving around in Porsches and Lexuses? Like, they just won't come into a haunt, but they will for the dinner.
Mm-hmm.
You're getting a brand new market.
Yes. How many do you know if those people that attend the dinners come back without the dinner next time?
Oh yeah.
Do they?
That's why you're looking at multiples coming back every year, and
they're also coming back for the dinner because
we
they
have to
enjoyed that
keep,
experience.
We have to keep changing the dinner rooms to keep up with that retention. Like they're coming back and they're looking forward to it, and it really makes us pull up our socks because it's weird because tradition's funny. Like they'll just want to come every year, and you're creating multiple sources of memories, if that's a better way to say it.
Mm-hmm.
So like you'll have a memory with a dinner, and now you'll have a memory with the haunt, or you have a memory with a song or a bar that the DJ was playing at the bar, or your group of friends and there's a drink. Like you're just creating all these little memories every place you can, and that's what creates that tradition.
And because we have almost 5 dinner rooms, what the people do is they're like, oh, we did cabin last year. Let's do Mad as a Hatter this year. And they actually plan for the following year going, oh, they have this one. So next year we'll come back and we'll do this room. So we got them on the hook. And all we're doing is we're just waiting for them to be like, oh, okay, yeah, let's come back. It's like changing flavors at Baskin Robbins, right? You go in there, oh, you like Rocky Road, but oh, they got cattail. Oh, okay, I'm going to try that next time.
What's cattail?
Not cattail, tiger tail.
Okay.
Tiger tail. That's what it is, tiger tail.
Sounds disgusting.
It has little chunks in it, and it's kind of
It's themed for your dinner, man.
It's all
Candy.
fuzzy.
The Mad Hatter room.
Like I work with like 700 people, and I try to tell everybody about Scarehouse. And when you hear about the guys talking, like, "Oh yeah, I might bring my wife there, I might bring my kids there," but then they come back to me like 2 weeks later. Oh, my wife booked the dinner at the dinner rooms. Like, what are they like? And then all of a sudden, I have people coming up. Oh, my wife went 3 times with 3 different groups. Like they just go. If once you go, it's like it's just a different experience. And they want to bring their friends next time, and they want to see how their friends are going to react in this room. So it's amazing, like just the feedback you get from these rooms. Are
Some people will bring their friends and they'll do the same room twice just so they can get their friend the experience and experience again with them for the first time, see their faces.
Yeah, they get to see somebody else's reaction because it's
Yeah.
like, oh, that scared me. I want to see what it does to Bob.
Yeah.
So, and I even have my dentist was asking about doing a staff party. We've had companies come in and do staff parties in our dinner rooms and actually rent out the whole dinner room.
Yeah, we did an AGM 2 years ago for a security company, and the owner just bought up every single seat and served them all dinner and then had his little AGM.
Right on.
Good idea. Okay, some things you can offer your customers: skip the line passes, of course, the VIP, create separate queue lines, and plenty of signage so people know where they're going. Because I know we run into that every year, it seems like. Monster meet and greets. Offer one-on-one sessions with one of your scare actors. Guests can interact with their favorite monsters and take photos to remember the experience. Maybe even have goodie bags with some of your merchandise for the monsters to hand out. And I do, like you were mentioning, the daytime tours. I think there's a slide in there that talks about add-on stuff for that too. But it's also good to have we had a monster, a non-scary monster that was kind of hanging out for the kids, so they got to see they took pictures with the monster and stuff as well during the daytime stuff. So, but we did the same thing you did, turned all the lights on and took all this bloody and gory stuff, covered it up. And
We spent a lot of time very specifically marketing without being scary because we want them to come in, so we keep it more family friendly and then trick them.
all the gore is still on the walls. It's just
Yeah.
there's nothing that's gonna scare you, like come out or
no
scream.
jump scares, right?
Yeah. When we do the parade, it's like high fives and knuckle punches, and you're like, it's fun. And then when they come through the haunt, it's, I'm gonna rip your face off, you little shit. And you're like, whoa, what just happened?
See, it's marketing. Give them a little interest. Just give them a little interest until they get in the door. So I
Funny,
get
you
on
have
my
kids like we had kids drawing pictures of one of our main like characters and bring them the next year, like, oh, I draw a picture of you, and they give it to the actor while they're waiting to get inside.
Puts it in his
That's
locker.
awesome.
Yep, we got our favorites too.
That's funny.
Where's Schizo the clown at? Where's Schizo at?
Yeah.
Oh, he was sick tonight, but he'll be back tomorrow.
He doesn't know who he is tonight.
Parking passes. If you charge for parking, you can allow guests to prepay for parking at your haunt. They'll make it easier for them to when they arrive. It'll also help you understand how many vehicles you'll need to accommodate. Especially if you do time ticketing, you can mix that in with your time ticketing, so you can sell your parking passes. Maybe even include VIP parking spots up close. T-shirts and hoodies. I know that's probably the first thing people go to is T-shirts and hoodies and merchandise. Custom apparel featuring your attractions branding and spooky designs. Also a great way to advertise your brand. $10 T-shirts selling for $25, plus your logo is on it as well. And they're showing their friends at school or people at work or whatever. They give them something to talk about. Souvenirs like mugs, keychains, posters, collectible items that your guests can take home.
Chicken out buttons.
Chicken out buttons. That's right. Scarebadges.com. Some with your brand on them, so you can use souvenirs, keychains, mugs, whatever, hats with your name on them. Or you can do, I've seen haunted attractions do unique things like baby doll heads, or silver fingers, something, or even character theme specific items that came from your characters. I've seen, I don't know if this one's on the slides or not, but garage sales, like they would open a garage sale up to the public and they're selling all their different Halloween stuff the haunt doesn't need anymore. That's another way to get people that aren't familiar with your attractions, say they got to step in the queue line or something just to go to this garage sale. And then once they get in, they're like, oh, wow, this is pretty cool. I'm gonna have to come back and check this place out. anything you can do anything you can do to open your doors to other people is a good thing.
Yeah, we started going to Comic Cons and then
Yes.
promoting our stuff. So we printed up a bunch of keychains and we started handing them out to everybody.
Yeah.
And so they knew who we were. It's probably like 80% of the people didn't even know who we were, didn't know who we were about. So we had to explain to them the dinner rooms. We had videos and t-shirts. We were selling t-shirts and contact lenses. So
another good place is Comic Cons and any kind of dress up place. I'm thinking the
cosplay
places, good place to get actors, kind of hanging out, or horror conventions, good place to get actors.
Yeah, fan expos, anime expo, Ren fairs, because those people can act and enjoy this kind of stuff on the horror side when they're not dressed in their medieval finest.
Exactly. Photo packages, professional photos, key spots within the attraction that are available for purchase, kind of like the roller coaster pictures. Of course, you see the scare cam pictures all over Facebook, so of course you want to buy one, you got to buy it at $20. Have a professional photographer in well-lit places taking photos, prepaid concessions, themed drinks, snacks like blood punch, monster popcorn, spooky cotton candy. Focus on items that are easy to eat while walking, or create eating areas with tables. So don't get a barbecue pork slider and they don't have any place to sit down and eat it, because it's not very friendly to your customers.
Friendly to your staff, though.
Yeah.
I love a pork slider, John.
Well, the barbecue gets on you. You're just like, oh, it's more blood. All right. It smells good. Alcohol, if permitted, themed cocktails and craft beers for adults. Some adults come to drink while they wait on their kids. In your situation, your bar's inside. I know I've seen kind of like outdoor areas where there is a bar set up for parents that just want to sit and wait, and then they're waiting for their kids while they go through. We
set up our bar to be in the center, and to go to each haunt, you actually have to walk through it. So you'll cross revenue sources. I think we estimate 6 times before you leave the haunt. So it'll be 6 opportunities to shake out those pockets.
Right. And you're bored, you're sitting around waiting. You want to do something, right? So
yeah, the parents love it. We get hockey teams come in, and all the parents will just come and sit in a corner, and then they're just ordering their wine and their beers, and they're waiting, they're watching their kids run amok, and they're like, this is awesome. This is the best idea ever.
There's a local hockey tournament, and it's an all girls tournament, and they get 75 teams locally, and we're basically the only game in town for them for recreation, because like when they go on these tournaments, Daryl will probably know, being up in Edmonton, like they just fill up all your restaurants, and they just got to go places, they got to find places to do. Well, we're the only haunt in the area, so like it's just one of those hockey moms is like, and we're gonna do this.
Yeah, I love to see buses pull up. I'm like, ooh, all right.
My heart starts palpitating, like it just starts. I can't stand stress like that. I'm like, oh, where are they gonna go? How are we gonna get them all in here? Let's do it.
Oh, I figure it out.
Many escape rooms. Try to keep them within 5 to 10 minutes. That way they can kind of do something. You have escape rooms on your?
We actually do not, and we're talking to a guy currently where he does escape rooms, and because we own the building now, I'd rather be his landlord and him be in charge of it, and then that way he would pay us for a yearly fee for him being here.
Right.
Yeah, one less thing off our plate.
Yeah.
And one more thing
But
for someone else to do.
Still a draw, still an attraction.
Yeah, it's in our building, so it's still a draw to our facility, but yet
right.
I'm not gonna worry about.
Yep. And this year he's setting up and we're convincing him to allow our customers to walk through his place so they know that he's there. So those synergies are there.
You're not putting him off in the back corner. You're putting him as the traffic on the way to you.
That's the plan. Like we're the long term.
That's good. Good for him. Good for him.
Yeah.
Right?
The long term play for us is to have like a full building of all these crazy wackos that, all make money, like doing fun stuff.
An entertainment complex around the ceiling.
Right on.
You can add a VR experience.
We did. We actually
You
had
did,
a
huh?
they set up a trailer and they were set up out in the parking lot. And when they came in, they could had an opportunity and they just paid us to be in the parking lot.
It was poor marketing on their end. They were new, but I think if they actually took this, what we're doing right now, and kind of focused on that a bit, that they would actually have a better turnout, and we'd love
Right.
to have them back.
Right on.
Yeah, my son has a VR headset, and I've played with the one at the shows. Transworld had one set up. So back there in the escape room stuff. They're pretty cool. Interactive zones, area where guests can interact with actors or props. Zones could include like dance party, unique characters, museums, something that's over there that they want to go to, but they need to pay $5 to get in there just to, check it out.
We call that the bar.
The bar.
It's exciting.
Customized scares, personalized experience for guests who opt for a more intense or unique scare. So we did the green glow necklaces for non-scares. So we called them monster shields. So they were for little ones. My actors would still scare, but they wouldn't pinpoint that child or that person. We had some adults wearing them, because how adults get when they're
Wussies.
there. Yeah. So, but we didn't do I know I've heard some people like use a red glow necklace for extreme scares. So you see a green, you're back off. You see a red, you get more involved. And that could
Easiest
be
$2 you could ever have.
Yeah.
$2.
It was you buy the glow necklace for 50 cents a piece or whatever. I think we might have been selling them for $5.
Well, I train our actors so that if you see anyone over the age of 13 wearing a glow necklace, you do extreme scares on that person. Because normally a teenage girl that's like, oh, I'm going to buy this thinking I'm safe. They buy it, they go on a haunt, and then we just rip that person to shreds. And all my actors, they know that's the rule. That if you see that, if it's on a kid younger than 12, that's your kryptonite. You melt into the shadows, you don't scare. But as soon as someone older than 13 has one on, you rip them apart.
We try to talk them out of them. It's like, you sure you really want this? It's not that scary. I gotta have it.
We have a sign saying no refunds beyond this point. So we have these kids that are standing in line. They're like, I don't know, they're 11, 12-year-old boys. But they're like, oh, I'm not going. And then he's trying to talk to me. How scary is it? How scary is it? I was like, oh, just come over here. You can look inside. And I get them just past that point, say no refunds. And then they all go, and then they go and then they laugh. Like they have a good time. Like you have to convince them to get in there.
Right.
And then they all have a great time. So it's not one you'll walk them out and they pee their pants, but they're still having a good time with wet pants. It's ridiculous.
I remember
Our haunt, we give them a button if they soil themselves. So it's like, yeah, just stop at the ticket or at the cashier on the exit, and they get a little present for you.
Yeah, there's a Scarab badge for that, isn't there? I think there is.
There is.
Yeah.
But then they're walking away with souvenirs of us. It doesn't cost a lot to give them, an I chickened out badge. We do the same as for chicken outs or for peeing and pooing yourself. And they walk away with that. Their friends are making fun of it. They tell their friends. You get 5 more people that come because one person chickened out, right?
Yeah.
And it cost you, $1 for the button.
Yeah, because we have the poop button and the pee button, and we have the special chicken out button. It's got your haunt name on it. I chickened out, or I peed myself.
I lost control.
I lost control.
That's right.
Yeah. So I remember one teenage boy, he was with his friends, and he was the only one out. He was left behind because he couldn't make it. So I saw him. I had to walk him out, and ended up taking with me around the egress to kind of spy on his friends. So, but then his mom, after that, oh, I'm glad you did that with him. And I think she came back and brought more people, the weekend. So
Kill them with kindness, Brian.
Yeah.
Kill them with kindness.
Take care of your people.
Yeah.
Oh, we do too. If they decide they want to leave after they bought the tickets, they already purchased the ticket, so they can reimburse those tickets any night that we're open up until Halloween night. So if they go through our main haunt, they come down and they're like, I can't do this. We're like, all right, come back another night. You're not getting a refund.
Right.
You purchase those tickets.
You come anytime you want.
Give it to a buddy of yours. We don't care. Those tickets have been purchased. You can come back another night and you can do the rest of our haunts.
Mm-hmm. It's a good idea. Private tours offer private group tours with a dedicated guide. I see this working maybe like on a slow night where you can kind of increase the story a little bit, have more time with your, so you have do groups of 6 or 10 or whatever, tell them a story, walk through the haunt, have limited actors, maybe kind of create a whole different story around the haunt. Just kind of like blackout nights, that's the thing. Glow stick nights, exclusive access, offer behind the scene tours, access to special hidden areas of the attractions, let them scare their friends, or have one of the actors takes them for a unique experience. So I've seen like haunts where they kidnap a person, and then the person's end up on a table somewhere, playing, or there's spots behind the walls. I've seen people have set up a spot where they can scare people through a window, and pay for that experience. One haunt did something, it was a medical themed type of thing, and they actually took that person out of the group, and they kind of took them in a room and had they were working on them and actually touching them and had them up on a table and was doing kind of that type of thing. So anything you can kind of increase access to your haunt, something secret behind the scenes. Haunted hay rides or mazes. In your all's case, you have 5 attractions. That's what I've always been told, is to have separate attractions. When I built the Dead Factory, I just built the Dead Factory. It was 12,000 square foot, 25-minute haunt. I never got to expand out besides that. My brother's working on it pretty good. He's working on some things out there. But if you have opportunity to do like hay rides, separate mazes, I've seen the curtain mazes, the red and white curtain mazes that people set up and charge an extra $5 to go through them. Of course, if you separate your haunts, you can get a bigger package deal for more attractions. So in our case, we were going to do, it's $25 for one. We were going to build another attraction and then do 25 each, or 40 for all of them, right? So you create a package deal where you get money off the more you buy. Kind of like your all's case, you buy the dinner package, you get this, and this, and it's this price.
It's all about finding value for that customer.
Yes.
Creating it, and that's what gets them the upsell.
Right. And make them feel like they have some value too. It's like, oh, it's not a bad deal. You get dinner and a haunt.
Everybody likes a deal.
And it's like, man, okay. Scary movie nights, screen classic horror films on themed environment. Create a separate experience for an extra $5 while you wait. Maybe you have the real movie monster hiding in the shadows somewhere. Might watch Michael Myers, and Michael Myers comes out of the shadows and gives everybody a good time. Or you can make the movie free and just sell alcohol and popcorn.
You can still sell popcorn and drinks cheaper than they do at the movie theater and still make a whole ton of money because they're so overpriced at a theater.
Yes, like $17 for large. Yeah. Host special events like zombie walks, costume contests, live performances. I've also seen like flea markets, craft fairs, stuff like that, where the vendors pay you something just to set up, use the space that you have. Seasonal event, Christmas horror nights, Valentine's haunted date nights, Friday 13th. Do you guys have any special nights that you do at the Scarehouse?
We everything and all of it above. Like we'll get into I try to schedule 25 events throughout the year, but it's not just around the haunt. So like there's a guy that locally does live bands, and so he'll book out and we sell tickets for the Deadway. That's not even the haunt, it's just he comes in and he has the Deadway, and we'll keep the mirror maze open, and then people will pay $5 on the mirror maze, but they're there actually to hear the music. We've done drag shows. We've done Carnival Noir, like where they wear the masks, like almost like an Eyes Wide Shut party. Mm-hmm. We've done we're doing one July 20th. It's a Big Wiggle. It's a local party band. We're opening up only the second floor, like the haunt. We're not opening the big one. We're calling it the Summer Scream. Whatever we could do to get them to come in and experience something. We're like, nothing's off the table for us. We're doing a birthday party July 17th.
Did baby showers.
Oh yeah, we did a baby shower.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah.
Baby shower of the macabre. That's
We've done movie premieres. We showed our the episodes of the Boo Crew. We showed them in here. We had we were lucky enough that we have lots of support, and one of our members of parliament came, and then they went to the legislator. And when you're at the legislature, you can talk about things that locally. And he stood up and said our names in our parliament and said, the Boo Crew invited me and had a good time. It's a place for a bunch of weirdos to get together and have some direction when you're a young adult trying to figure shit out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
Well, we also have one of the largest stages in Windsor for doing any type of live act. So be it theater, live music, DJs, whatever. So
Our stage is 1,200 square feet. We made it really big.
Wow.
Wow.
So that's why the drag show community flocks to us, because we have now the stage that they can actually perform on, and it's 4 feet high. And we made stairs that comes down. We added leaves to it that actually extends over top of our front bars, and we have a staircase that goes down. So now you're now performing 4 feet above everybody else, and then you can walk down into the crowd and mingle with the crowd and go back up on the stage.
Nice. When did you guys build that? Was that year one or is that?
Oh no, that was
2 years.
2 years ago now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
That's
have
cool.
to skip my own haunt duties and come out and visit you guys. Jeez.
Well, yeah, I guess it is pretty far.
Well, yeah,
Canada.
unfortunately, it probably costs me more to go visit you than it does to cost me to go to Transworld.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, sad.
Annual passes, a limited entry for a season or a year. Create different packages, bonus like VIP, free merchandise, free upgrades with your annual pass. You guys do annual passes?
No, we don't.
No.
We never thought about it.
Like
We
season
get them
pass or
we get them to pay every time. So I don't know. I don't know if we get any more value in that.
Yeah, we've had multiple people come back just to go through the haunts, because they'll come in and they'll bring their cousin's son, bring their sister the next time. So for something like that, we're actually shooting ourselves in the foot a little bit when you got the same person coming back 3 or 4 times in a season.
you're gonna pay anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Membership programs, benefits and discounts for repeat visitors, punch cards, reward points, etc. So I know some even like, let's kind of go off the topic of this, but sponsorships with the tickets and the wristbands. We used had that sponsorship with a restaurant and a bar, and we had their name and stuff on the wristband and the tickets, and so we had their banner and stuff. We swapped banners, so they had the banner up in their bar, we had a banner of theirs up in our thing. So that was kind of a thing that we did because it was hard the first 2 years just trying to get, your actors. They fed our actors, gave us food for them. So it's like, okay. So we had this good deal. We gave them tickets to our attractions. So everybody had tickets for their families. So we kind of swapped that, kind of got creative because okay, we want to pay my actors and try to spend a little or save a little bit on marketing, advertising. So that kind of helped me in the first couple of years doing that. Themed dinner experiences.
Oh, what is that?
Yeah.
That sounds like maybe something we should talk about.
Right. So I was going to ask you, did you start off with one room or did you start off with two? How did you start? One room.
We started with one, and then we moved. I wanted to do 3, and then we added the 4th, and then this year we're adding the 5th, but we doubled the size of the 2 rooms.
Okay. And this was extra space that you were was that vacant space that you already?
No, we ripped out part of one of our haunts. I was happy about that, but
we took out half of our ticket line.
Yeah.
Gotta make it bigger. Make it bigger.
Got bills to pay.
That's right.
Yeah, unfortunately.
He sees the big picture. I see what I have to do right now picture.
Well, the fun house took a hit on 2 rooms, so we could add in the 1 dinner room, and then the lobby took a hit for one of the other dinner rooms because we had to expand out the kitchen because we're going from roughly 114 people and 3 seatings to 350 people for 3 seatings.
Right.
Well, she had a room about 8 feet by 14 feet, maybe.
Yeah,
all that without a window or airflow. Oh,
that's another big thing too. Is like we have to add HVAC just to keep the temperature under control because we're starting to get into those numbers where the human body puts off heat. And you're adding 50 people to one room, man, it gets warm.
Yeah. Plus, you got to make a spirit passage. You have to have a blast of cold air that.
Yeah.
Maybe later. Implementation tips. Bundle your upsells. Create bundles that offer a combination of upsells and discounted rate to encourage higher spending. On-site promotions. Clearly advertise and add-ons at your venue with eye-catching signage and enthusiastic staff and thematic consistency. Ensure all add-ons enhance the overall haunted experience and fit within the theme of your attraction. On your themes, they're probably all different types, right? All different styles. Each haunt probably has its own theme. Your dinners have its own theme.
Yep. Yeah. Well, we always do it because you want to cater to everybody's scared of clowns, so you gotta have the fun house. And then we really we built one room, and I'm a big fan of the old school haunt dark rides. Like you
Mhm.
can't see anything inside, kind of like at Niagara Falls or whatever. So we built one of those because we call it Haunted Darkness. It's probably my favorite, but I mean, like people either love it or they hate it because you get confused and you go up the wrong way. But we added that in there. Last year, we got Leonard Pickle to design a mirror maze for us. So that's a 1,200 square foot mirror maze. And then we added an area like an apocalyptic end of the world type thing that we call Ward 13. So like we got all of our flavors all the way around.
And your bars probably just mix and match horror stuff.
Yeah, it's called the Deadway Bar and Kill. We put skeletons, painted it purple, the dark colors. One side of the bar looks like an abandoned building. It has this very macabre theme to it for sure.
Victorian furniture everywhere type of thing.
Yeah.
Right. It all sounds like it gels well together. Promote your online sales. It reaches guests when they already have their wallet out. They are planning to spend money on your haunt. You're just inviting them to spend a little more if they choose to do so. Guests are more likely to spend more money online while they're already at home. They got their credit card out. It gets you additional revenue in advance. You get your money earlier, which can help cover some of the costs of planning and setting up your haunt.
Alex does a great job of that with Haunt Pay. And as you're going in through your cycle, you buy your tickets. And then it goes, would you like to have on-site parking? And you go, yes, no. And it goes, would you like to add a t-shirt to that? Yes, no. Would you like to add monster repellent? Like you got to go through all these levels before you get to the end.
It's kind of like Vistaprint.
Yeah. Hauntpay's got it going down. Speak of
Once
the
again,
devil.
Once again, we want to thank Hauntpay for Alex for his awesome information. I added a few things in there for myself but he wrote that. We were already talking about doing this class, and then that came out. So I was like, man, let's just mesh them together. So I'm glad you came to me, because that's a really good idea you guys got.
I really do believe that it's something that our industry needs, and it could benefit the whole thing, because it does attract a clientele that may not come to a haunt, but it also gives you another vein to find a source of revenue, just so that there's longevity in the business.
And we're always looking for things new, and the customers are too. You got to stay on top of it. You got to stay with that customer. So like you said, we got to switch things up, do things different all the
We
time.
talked about how there's not a lot of things in this world where you're unique or it's one of a kind. And we kind of fell into something that is one of a kind. And locally, it's been something that we've like kind of cherished for the last 4 years. But this year I'm like, okay, we need to let other people know so that they can take it to that next level.
Tell us where everybody can find you, if they want to contact you about more information about dinner experiences, they want to come check out your haunt.
Yeah, you can go to scarehousewindsor.com. You can reach me at boo@scarehousewindsor.com. Also, just give me a call. My number is 519-791-1492. I mean, if you want to fly our team out there, we'll come up with a price and we'll set you up. Or if you just want to ask a question, like what can I do next? We'll answer for you. We won't hold anything back. Again, so yeah, 519-791-1492, and we'll get you in the right direction, and you can have an immersive dinner experience also at the highest level.
Right on.
Yeah. If I get my passport together, I'll have to come out and see that. Swing by.
Come on, Brian.
Road trip.
Yeah. It's about 10 hours. You can get up here.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No.
But you drive up, you can stop at all the other places. Look, you got Cleveland, Chicago, Detroit. You got a couple of places you can go to.
Brian may not get here going to those places.
Yeah.
Well, no, he's going to yours first.
Okay.
And then he'll go to the other
back.
places on the way back. That's right.
Uh-huh.
It's got to be that way.
Well, appreciate you coming to me with all this information. Daryl, you have any more questions you want to ask this crew tonight?
No, I do not. I think we covered a whole bunch of stuff. As their listeners can attest to, we asked quite a few questions, and Shawn and team have been very open about what to do, how to do it, and what it can mean for your haunts. So I think it was a really good session tonight.
So get out there and make some more revenue for your haunted attraction. Get creative. Make some things around, try some things, test it out, see what happens.
That's it. It's not rocket science.
That's right. Keep it simple.
Right, Dennis?
Yeah, keep it simple, stupid.
Right. The KISS principle.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. All right, guys. Well, I'm sign off. Thanks again. We'll see you guys on the dark side.
Take care.
Peace out.
This podcast episode sponsored by Scared Badges. Get your Scared Badges at scarebadges.com. Also sponsored by Hunter's Toolbox. Take your haunt to the next level at hunterstoolbox.com. Thank you for listening to Haunt Topic Radio. Please leave a comment wherever you found this podcast. Each comment you leave will help spread the word to other haunters around the world. See you next time.